Hey guys, welcome back to the Hermitcraft mod source server. It is episode 8 and we're currently over here at the Mumbo Jumbo Jumbo base, ready to record another video. And I have to admit, ladies and gentlemen, I was reading through the comments of the most recent mod source episode and you lot were being absolutely lovely about this place. I have to say, just the number of nice comments that I was getting really was making me feel good. And I took a look at the base the other day and I was thinking, yeah, that is 10 times better. I have no idea why I chose to use those marble blocks originally. They were between white and grey and it just wasn't a good look. It just made it look dirty, as if the building had been there for like 30 years. So this is 10 times better, nice and clean and pristine, and I really like it. And clearly from the comments, you lot really like it as well. So today we are going to be chucking in all of the glass and doing a few other bits and pieces. But before we begin, I have got a bit of an announcement. I have got both good news and I've got bad news, and I'm going to break the bad news first. There isn't going to be a mod source episode next week. I'm sorry about that. There's not going to be a mod source episode next week. That is the problem about doing episodes once a week, is that if I take a 1 episode break, it's a 2-week break. That's a long time, and I can understand if some of you are frustrated by that. But the good news is that I'm going to New York. I am going to New York, going to America. I have never been to America before, and I am so very excited. It's going to be amazing, I think. I've never been there before. I've got nothing to judge it against, but it is going to be amazing. I've heard that New York is an incredible place. Of course, I've seen it all over the internet and in movies. And one thing that I just wanted to ask, for those of you who have been to New York before, or perhaps you even live in New York, could you let me know on some of the things that are really fun to do? Of course, I'm going to be doing all the touristy stuff. I'm going to be going Empire State Building, Liberty City Statue. Did I just say Liberty Statue? I can't remember the name of it. Oh, how embarrassing. But I'm just going to be doing all the touristy stuff. But if any of you have some cool suggestions for little things that I could do while I'm there for 5 days, so I've got plenty of things that I can do. Please let me know down in the comment section, because I'm sure at least some of you can come up with some really awesome suggestions, and I can't wait. Statue of Liberty! How could I forget that? I completely messed up my words, started thinking about GTA, let's be honest. So to do this next part of the base, we're going to be chucking in all of the glass. Now obviously, this is going to require a lot of glass, so I'm going to have to head out to a desert somewhere and start dismantling it. But before we even do, I just noticed I've got some in my inventory, and I thought I would chuck it into the Elite Factory just so you can see how fast this thing is. Now I'm sure that most of you have seen this, you know, a lot of you probably play Mechanism. Oh no, it looks like our reactor has run out of power again. Damn, I'm going to have to go out and get some more of that. But as you can see, all of the glass is flowing in. We've got plenty of it in the chest already. Do we have any more Yellorium? Yes, we've got a little bit of it. So let's head down here and quickly chuck some in. Check for any mobs around here, because occasionally there are a few. So we'll throw some of that into here. And then we'll activate our reactor and we'll see how powerful this thing is. So we're getting 1, 2 killer RF. Almost 3. Are we going to scrape 3? That's not really that impressive. At one point I am going to increase the size of the big reactor. That's all to come, because at the minute it's barely powering this thing, and that's only one machine. I have by accident made my way over to Biffa's base, and, well, I'm a little bit disheartened by this. I thought I was doing really well on mod source in terms of the things that I was managing to do and all the contraptions that I was building. You know, I thought I was learning quite nicely. Obviously Biffa has played modded Minecraft before, but I could spend hours around here. Look at all the stuff that he has got. He's got so many machines, he is working on so much stuff. I have been watching his videos, but I've never seen it in person. This is an impressive base. Oh my. I don't even know what to say. Now I just remembered that all of this white stained glass is actually going to use quite a lot of bone meal. So I had a chat with a few of the hermits about how to get bone meal, and a lot of them said, don't worry about it, we've all got millions of the stuff. So I don't know how they've done it, but Zul'jin has come by and he has given me all of these. Now these are bone blocks, and I've never seen these before, of course. I mean, they're clearly a modded thing, but if I place them in the crafting, oh wow, okay, so that is 9 bones. We've got 3 stacks of these, which all have 9 bones per block, and that is going to give us 3 bone meal per bone. We are going to have so much bone meal, I'm not going to know what to do with the stuff. Oh, how generous. Thank you ever so much, Zul'jin. That is absolutely lovely. I'm going to make use of this. Oh wow, I really need to start lighting up my base. This is going to become a problem. Now, I think I showed you this in the previous episode, but this is the design that we're going to be going for. So, if I can remember how to make stained glass, let's take a look. We chuck it all around like that, and then we throw some bone meal in the middle, and we have got ourselves some white stained glass, so that is looking good. But we are going to take it one step further by using the chisel. So, we'll chuck the stained glass in there, and I believe it is called white glass panel. I think it might be called that. Let's take a look. If we grab that out of there and we place it into the wall, yeah, that is the stuff. Okay, so that is looking really very nice indeed. We'll go right the way up and around, and that is going to look very good. But one thing that I have just realized is that I've placed that in the wrong place, but also this is going to use a lot. And I mean a lot of glass. We've already almost used a full stack of glass, and we haven't even done one of the windows. And as you can see on this build, there are a lot of windows, but let's take a first impression. Oh yeah, that is looking very laboratory, very smart. Got a bit of a progress update for you. Everything is looking brilliant. As you can see, I've put in a large quantity of glass going right the way around. It is almost covering the entire bottom floor, so that is looking pretty sweet. But I have got some bad news, and that is the fact that I have already run out of glass. I had 9 stacks, and they are almost gone. In fact, they are entirely gone. I have used up all of the glass that we have. I've only got 3 bits left, which is a little bit rubbish, because as you can see, we have still got the next floor, and then the floor above that to do. I suppose it's not going to need quite as much glass as the bottom one. That is clearly the biggest one, but still, there is so much left to do, and I have completely run out. So that means that I'm going to have to head off to the desert with my atomic disassembler in hand, and we are going to start doing some de-deserting. And within around about 5-10 minutes, the atomic disassembler is entirely out of charge. But as you can see from my inventory, we have got ourselves around about 10, maybe even 11 stacks of sand, which should, in theory, do the job on this one. Now, I'm not going to hold myself to that one, because I originally thought that all of the glass that we had already was going to do it, but clearly that hasn't even covered the entire first floor, so I have absolutely no idea. But what I'm going to do is head over to the Mumbo Jumbo Jumbo base, chuck all of these into our factories, turn them all into glass, and then I will start placing blocks again. So there we have it, the entire floor is now done. We have got all of the glass in place, and it is looking lovely. If we take a look at it from the outside, this is my first time taking a look. Yes, it looks exactly the same as it did a couple minutes ago. Let's head over to this other side, remove this extra piece of glass that we have over here. Let's just take a look at it from this angle. It looks exactly the same. What a wondrous thing. It's so good having a build that looks exactly the same from all angles. But essentially, I think this looks really very good. One thing that I did just notice is that we have got a chest on the top of here. I'm guessing this is from XB Crafted. Yeah, he heard my cries for help about the bones, and it looks like he has given me a ton of them. We have got a ton more bones to add to the collection. We have still got a bunch of bone blocks, as you can see. Oh man, what am I going to use all these for? I feel a little bit guilty now. I seem to have the whole server's bones. There are probably tons of things that we can do with that. But anyway, that is the first floor done. Now we need to do the second one, and of course the third. And finally, all 3 floors are now complete. Let's just do a quick cinematic panoramic around the base. Oh yeah, it is looking good. I apologize for saying that so many times in today's episode. I've said the words good, nice, and awesome just hundreds of times. I'm going to have to bring a thesaurus along to the next recording session so that I can come up with some more creative ways of saying those words. But anyway, if we take a look on the inside, let's just pop in. Can't get through the doorway. I've been having this problem quite a bit recently. I don't know what's going on. Yep, we finally managed to make it through. As you can see on the inside, just a bunch of blocks, and then up here, a bunch more blocks, and then up here we've got a bunch more blocks. And one thing, oh no! One thing that I have just noticed. Oh, we haven't left any building space on the top floor. How have I not let that come into my head? How has that idea not surfaced in my brain yet? That we aren't actually going to have any space up here. What have I done? Okay, so we don't have any working space on the top floor. I suppose what I'll have to do is I'll have to make this area here made out of glass, or perhaps we could even do a solid floor and then have elevator blocks in the middle. But that wasn't the idea. I wanted it to be see-through right the way up to the top, but that might not be possible. One thing that has just popped into my brain is that we could have something like iRobot. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen iRobot before. It's getting on a bit now. I think it came out in like 2001, so over 10 years old. Wow, I feel quite old now. But iRobot, in that film, the building has a massive hole down the center, and then it's got a big pillar of like electronics and then machinery going right up the middle, and it all looks amazing. Maybe we could do that in this base, and the good thing about my one is the fact that it probably wouldn't try and kill everyone. So that's always a positive, you know? That could be something that we could work on in the future. A big machine that goes right up the middle of my base. That could be a really awesome idea. But for the minute, the base is done and it is looking good. I am super happy with it. Now it is time to crack on with a few of the other projects that I have planned. I have to admit, guys, I'm a little bit nervous because, of course, I am in the Nether and I seem to have a couple ghasts on me. One of them has got a very funny hat on. But I am trying to gather up a little bit of glowstone because we're going to need it for a crafting recipe. We're going to be doing another Mekanism project. And I know I've been doing quite a few of those recently. Yeah, I think I'm going to stay away from that place. But I've been doing quite a few of those recently, and that is because Mekanism is by far and away my favourite mod. Apart from maybe Applied Energistics, which we are going to start working on a little bit later when I gather up some more resources. But Mekanism is just one of those things. I love working on everything in there. Everything seems to work how I would imagine it would. I don't know if that makes sense, but it just seems to make sense to me, and I can really plow on through and get everything done. So as you can see, I'm gathering up a fair amount of glowstone here. If we take a look in my inventory, whoa, that was a really loud noise. Oh, the ghasts, they make the most horrendous noises in the Nether. I'm going to get away from there. I think I've got enough glowstone for one day. Let's head back home, and we will start crafting. You know, I just panicked back then about a ghast noise. If you noticed in the video, there wasn't actually a sound. Turns out it was actually my neighbour's child screaming, and it caught me off guard. So here is what I want to do. I want to set up a teleporter that will be able to transport us from this base over to the Mumbo Jumbo Jumbo base, because it is, how far away? 296 blocks, and that is just too much for me. I want to be able to hop back and forth nice and easily, grab resources from each base, and that is pretty much the way that I want to do it. Eventually, I am going to get myself set up with some form of AE network, which will allow for easy grabbing of items and resources and things, but for the minute, we're going to have ourselves a bit of a ghetto solution. Okay, so here is the teleporter. We need 2 teleporters, and then 18 teleporter frames. They use a lot of obsidian ingots, and those things are quite fiddly to make, but I'll try my best to take you through it, just because I find this stuff sort of interesting. Alright, so first off, teleportation core. We need atomic alloys. Now, I have actually got a few of these reinforced alloys here, and we have got some pulverized obsidian dust, which we can use inside the metallurgic infuser. Oh no, it needs to be refined. Okay, so that means that we need to put this in the metallurgic infuser with diamond to get refined obsidian dust, and I actually think we're going to need more of that because we are also going to need to do that for the obsidian ingots. Alright, so this is going to be quite long-winded, but I need to put some of these into the crusher. So we've got some diamond dust coming out of the crusher here. And then that diamond dust needs to go up into the metallurgic infuser. That has been sucked in, and we need to place in the pulverized obsidian here. That will give us refined obsidian dust. Yes, that is a good sign. And then that needs to go over to this side, and that will be sucked in. So now we've got obsidian in the metallurgic infuser, and we need to place these in here, and they will turn into atomic cores. Now, I have just realised we need 2 more of those, so I'll probably do that off camera, but for the minute, we need to get ourselves, well, we've got all of this stuff, so that's okay. We can make the teleportation core. In fact, I might as well do that now while we're on camera. So I'll grab the gold. We need to get ourselves some lapis, which I think is in a DSU somewhere, or it might be in just some of the regular diamond chests. So that has been done. We have got ourselves 1 teleportation core. I've also made 2 glowstone ingots, which are ready for our little teleporter frames. But now for the obsidian ingots. Oh, these are quite long-winded. Okay, so we need to get ourselves refined obsidian, which is using the same process that we literally just did in the metallurgic infuser, so I will do that off camera. But that involves grabbing some of the molten obsidian that we have on the inside of the smeltery. So we need to get ourselves a bunch of this stuff, because we're going to need 8 for one, and then 8 for the other, which means we're going to need 16 in total. So I'm going to have to smelt down some more obsidian, because we seem to be running out of it. But that then needs to go into the pulverizer, which then needs to go into the metallurgic infuser with diamonds, which then needs to go back into the metallurgic infuser to turn into an obsidian ingot. Wow. This is quite an expensive process. I know we're making a teleporter, and that's pretty insane, but it really is taking away all of my resources right now. Right, now I have got to pulverize all of these obsidian ingots I've just got from my smeltery, so those will all be turned into obsidian dust. We've also got ourselves some diamond dust ready to put inside the metallurgic infuser, but before we even do that, I want to get myself one teleporter live on camera. So, we need to get ourselves some steel casing. I've got some steel in my inventory, and I have also got myself some osmium, so we might as well do that now. We'll just head over here, and I'm going to do this the lazy way, so we'll chuck that in, and we have got ourselves 4 steel casing, so that is perfect for us. And what else do we need for the teleporter? We need to place in this, and then these 4, and then we are going to need those basic circuits. So let's take a look. We need to grab ourselves some obsidian, or osmium even, and some redstone to put inside the metallurgic infuser, and then we'll be good to go. So I'll chuck in the osmium, and then the redstone is in a DSU somewhere. I think it is this one. So we'll chuck that in as well, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and that will go right on through. We'll get ourselves some basic circuits, and then we will be able to make one of the teleporters. Of course, I'm going to have to do all of this over again, but I thought I would show you it on camera, because, like I say, I find all this stuff fairly interesting. I like watching the whole crafting process between all of the mods and things like that. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have got ourselves one teleporter. There it is. If we take a look inside the osmium compressor, we can see the precious goods. Yes, these are the obsidian ingots. They don't really take that long to make. They're just a little bit fiddly with how you have to do them, and they do use up quite a few diamonds, which is a bit of a problem. But anyway, if we just hop inside here, chuck down our 2 glowstone ingots, and then run all of these around the outside just like this, we should get ourselves 18 teleporter frames. Alright, so we are almost there. We need to make ourselves one more teleporter, but I will do that off camera just because we've just done it live on camera and you don't need to see it again. But this is going to take a fairly decent length of time, as all of the resources needed are pretty big and they're just all so fiddly. I do apologise for the rain. It always seems to be raining on the Hermitcraft mod store server. In fact, I am fairly certain that we have got some setting checked somewhere that says, hey, you want to have more rain. Another thing that you might have noticed is that my wind turbines, they don't look particularly mechanically stable, but they seem to be working just fine. I think they're still producing energy. As you can see, yeah, they're producing around about 960 joules per tick. I don't know how much that is in terms of the grand scheme of things. But anyway, if we chuck down our teleporter here, that seems to be getting charged up. It seems to be going straight into the network, which is good. And then we need to go a couple blocks upwards like this. And we need to do the same thing on the other side. So that is all of these blocks up here, just like that. And then we need the 1 block in the middle. And everything should turn on once I change this. So we're going to go on link number 2000, okay? And as you can see, yep, that is charging up. It needs to get up to 2 million kilojoules or something like that for it to be able to turn on. So that is on 2000. Remember that, guys, because now I have to head over to my other base and I need to create another one of these with that same link code. I'm almost done on the construction process. We just need to place that block in there, and we quickly need to charge this thing using the big reactor. Now, one thing, yes, we do still seem to have power, which is always good. We just have to head round here, grab ourselves our elite universal cable, and run this straight into the teleporter. Now, I would assume, considering that this cable is from Mekanism, it is going to run straight in, and it looks like you can go into the bottom. So there we go, everything is now powered. Here comes the moment of truth, guys. Alright, so click on this, we're going to set it to 2000, and oh, we have got ourselves the purple mist. The purple mist has arisen, so that means that these should be connected. Alright, here we go, I'm going to walk through, hopefully I don't end up somewhere completely random, and bonk. Yes, it worked! Oh, there's a bit of a slow chunk loading. As you can see, I mean, there's a big border there. I'd never even noticed that before. It's a little bit low to render in, okay? It's a little bit slow to render everything in, but if we try and pop back, let's see how that goes. Maybe we might have run out of power on the other end. I've just realized we need to get ourselves a chunk loader so that that doesn't unload, because otherwise, it doesn't actually load in the teleporter, and then we can't go back there. So it hasn't worked out quite so well on the first test, but I'm going to grab myself a chunk loader and we'll give it another bash. Sadly guys, chunk loaders are a lot more expensive than I first imagined. As you can see here, they use a ton of deep storage units and a nether star. I do not have a nether star to my name, so I won't be able to make one of those, at least in today's episode. Maybe at some point in the future. For the minute, I'm going to set up a digital miner over there, which will load up all of the chunks, and that should, in theory, work like a charm. If it doesn't, then could someone please offer up some form of solution, because otherwise my new Fandangle teleporter isn't going to be working. But sadly, I am so out of time. I should really be packing right now. I should be getting myself prepared for New York. I am very excited. I hope that you're excited as well. I will be tweeting from New York, probably Instagramming. I might even record a video or two from there so you can see what I'm up to, because it's going to be awesome. You know, I've never been anywhere like this. I've never been to a place like this. And it just, hopefully it's going to be wicked. I might come back in like 2 weeks time and be like, oh, that was average, if anything. So you never know, okay? This is the first time that I'm doing it. It should be good fun. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.